Hello, everybody. Hopefully now the audio connection will be better. And hopefully I'm not so retarded. Because I want to talk to Courage Legend. Hopefully this will work. Yes!
Audio connection. Yes.
Better fucking work.
I
That was
see.
a great hypothesis.
That was weird. It was all black on my screen. You were talking to me. I'm like, damn, how are you going to keep doing this conversation? I'm all in the dark and shit.
Like, believe it or not, I can just talk nonsense for a while. It's pretty
Oh, I
surprising.
know. I love it, dude. I was loving it. I'm like, dude, you don't even need me. You don't even need me.
Well, I was in so the first guest I was a guest with Tartarian Productions. So like my first time ever being a guest on like live chats, and his connection really sucked, but mine was good. And
Right.
so like, at the very end of his stream, like he just completely freezed. But like audio wise, he froze. But like video, like we still saw Andy Adam, or no, it was a Handy Adam. It was that's what but it was Tartarian Productions. He was just doing his like stream or whatever, and
Right.
we saw the video, but we couldn't hear the audio. And because I was on his stream, I was like, all right. Like my instant reaction was, all right, because he's not like his guests are no longer having the audio.
Yeah.
I now have to make the audio entertaining until his audio comes back. And so for like a good 5 minutes, I was just like talking shit and talking nonsense. Cameron, well, so everybody pause real quick. Cameron, you just called me. I apologize that I did not answer your phone call. I'm sure you had very specific things. And after the stream is over, I would love to talk to you. But that being said, right now I'm talking to an Army veteran, and he has a similar story to you. So I would encourage you to watch the last stream with me and Courage Bear, because I think it's going to help you a lot, Cameron. But that being said, Courage Bear, fucking go.
Anyways, you were talking to me about earlier about what was it? God, it's hard to remember. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, let's talk about what I was going to get back to you about Antarctica. I wanted to talk about yesterday about Antarctica. Like, yeah, I met a dude who actually was there legitimately, and I know that he rides up. Okay, yeah, he's fucked up because it probably did some fucked up shit to him, but like the dude was like legitimate. Like I checked into his sources and his information after I had a conversation with them, so I knew the dude wasn't lying. Like he didn't like make this shit up. You had to have actually been there to see
like
it.
Legit Antarctica scientist.
Yeah, he was a legit. He was talking about core samples, and he was speaking like crazy scientific words that I wasn't even like I couldn't even fathom. Like I didn't understand what he was saying. Like the guy was a G. Like he was smart, and I actually looked into his family too, because he said that he had a family up there. He legitimately has a family up there and takes care of him. He's actually worth a lot of money, which is weird. But the thing is, like, he developed some sort of like brain thing. So like he's kind of crazy. So like he's a recluse. But his family is legitimately badass. Like they do a lot of like projects around the county and stuff like that. So like they're like a rich family. So like he's not like bullshitting. Like he was actually in the Navy. So I checked into his shit. Like it was badass. And I was like, so what tripped me out, he literally told me, from what I can remember from when I was drinking with him, because Camera Bear, apparently he calls himself Camera Bear now earlier.
Well, I've named your buddy Camera Bear.
He's Camera Bear.
Your buddy's new name is Camera Bear. That's his new name. Dude,
you should have seen how quick freaking Warbeard came in on him. Like, get the hell out of here, Camera Bear. It was hilarious. But yeah, like, no, for real, like, no, like, the guy that I was talking to, though, like, what he told me was, like, he started off doing core sampling. It wasn't just core sampling. Like, he did, like, other tests around Antarctica and stuff like that. And at some point, he got security clearance, and he was traveled to different various places around Antarctica, and he believes that it's bigger. I mean, I'm not kidding you. From what I remember, he was saying, because I'm trying to, pick things that he said to me.
Yeah.
I do recall that he said it's like twice the size of America.
Well, so according to Admiral Byrd said that the landmass beyond the Antarctic ice wall was 3 times the size of America and had many more resources. So the fact that your scientist buddy contact, it says at minimum twice the size and also verifies Trainer Bear welcome, phone PB whatever the hell your name is, PB Maya welcome. So like the fact that your scientist friend like verifies this like drastic size plus the resources that are available just confirms Admiral Byrd's account.
Yeah, he's not a liar. Like, this is early days before they had Navy SEALs and people to shut you down and tell you can't come over here because you didn't have money to fly over there because you were poor. We were all poor by design. Like, they only allowed certain people to be rich and to do what they wanted to do.
Well, yeah, dude, before World War II, Americans were just like every other poor person. After World War II, we sucked the wealth from the entire world so that your average American is basically like a rich person and is too stupid to know that they're a rich person.
Exactly. They're like, oh, I'm poor. I'm struggling with my 4-bedroom house and my...
I only make $100,000 a year. How dare you?
Damn you, boomers.
Dude, fucking pretty much, exactly.
Dude, like, yeah, for real. Like, but the thing is, like, it was crazy is the reason why he was so obsessed with Antarctica is because that freaking Warbeard showed me this cartoon commercial that I don't know, it was just Big Bear, but it's Big Bear's voice. And he's like, what is in Antarctica that they're not showing you? And I was like, dude, I got something to say about this. Like, I'm trying to tell people that there's legitimately like vast, untouched land that has not been corrupted by humanity over in Antarctica, and they want to totally control it. The thing that sucks is there's a total like it's not just one country has control of it. Like you said, you have to get sign-offs from every nation in order to even do a stupid fake-ass expedition. Like,
well, even beyond just signing off all the nations, like I said before, I also said you have to get all the NGOs of every nation. Like, so it's like not just the signatory nations, but all the NGOs of all the signatory nations, which makes it that much more complicated.
Right, exactly. Like, it's that he was saying though to me, it's like, dude, because it blew my mind when he said it. My camera bear was pretty drunk at the time, so he doesn't remember because he's too busy worrying about the camera. You know how he is. But
I love camera bear.
But I was totally paying attention to what this guy was saying, though I was having a hard time paying attention because I was getting pretty doused in alcohol because me and Camera Bear were camping. So like he rolled up on his bike and he went off and just told me this insane tale about how like, dude, they're lying to you. He's like, dude, there's a whole new world across Antarctica. And that he even went on to say that the Antarctica thing that they show on the map is puny compared to what it really is.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The whole Antarctica map thing is like crap. It's a lie. Like, it looks like a freaking hurricane on the map.
Dude, like, our knowledge of the world is like this. And then the actual real, like, God's creation is like beyond the screen. It's so big.
Right. So this is the thing too, like, dude, like, I wouldn't say necessarily because I really went off on the Nephilim, like the Nephilim over there, the dinosaurs, like I wouldn't quite necessarily say the dinosaurs and Nephilim. I'm just saying that there's legitimately like animals and stuff like that haven't been messed with by, like, they keep it to themselves. Like, I don't even know if they do hunting or whatever they do over there. Like, they just keep whatever is over there for themselves because they're the Jews and they're gonna.
Think about it this way. So at one point, America was this like new land that was undiscovered, and that's what Trainer Bear's talking about. Is like once upon a time, America was undiscovered.
Exactly.
And so like that's entirely true. And then Bear Raiser is saying that what if past Antarctica ice wall is Eden? I would disagree with that, although it's a very potent gravy point. Because according to the book of Genesis, the Euphrates River and other various rivers and historical geological points that we can like identify in our own like little world.
Right.
We can identify those things. So Bear Raiser, I don't think your hypothesis is super correct, but very good question. Trainer Bear, your hypothesis is just on fucking point. Continue, brother.
Trainer Bear is always on point, though.
Dude, of course. Dude, that's what I thought. So Trainer Bear.
It pisses me off. Why can't he just not be on point for some time?
Well, so the reason why I'm emphasizing that Trainer Bear is so on point is because he emphasizes, like, he's like, oh, here's this thing I've got on gravy, but JapJap Bear, can you correct me? Like, Trainer Bear, shut the fuck up. You're a genius. Like, just give us your gravy, bro.
Seriously, stop ripping us off, Trainer. Like, I feel like that moment, that scene. I was telling Warbeard yesterday. I was like, dude, it's almost like that scene from The Last Samurai when you know, I don't care about Tom Cruise. It's when he's with that describer guy and he's pushing him forward. And like, oh, he's the president of the United States. Like, right, he's pushing that guy forward. That's how we feel when we push Trainer. Like, Trainer, you need to speak.
Trainer Bear, just accept that you're knowledgeable, that you're a genius, and you're badass as fuck. And stop apologizing for yourself. Accept your greatness, damn it. How dare you?
You're not wrong, even when you're wrong. Like, I don't agree with everything Trainer says, but I'm like, Trainer, that's awesome. Like I love it.
Yeah, Trainer Bear is loving what we're saying right now.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Trainer Bear, if what we're saying is killing you, then take what we're saying to heart and increase your level of confidence. That will assist you greatly, my friend.
I love that. That's great. That was just awesome.
Well, like, honestly, like, the only reason why that sounded profound is because right before I lowered my voice and said something meaningful, I was like, ah! But I was also saying two things. And so the rhetorical divide between those two statements emphasized the secondary statement, which is what I really wanted Trainer Bear to, like, internalize.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And dude, like, what's crazy about you, though, JapJap, is, like, you have such an insight. You have a crazy insight. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, man, I'm educated as fuck, but I don't have like you said, I don't have words like when I'm talking to people, but like you're very insightful. Like you understand what is going on around you, like in a ways like that I can't speak. I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, like, I can't always like get it out there. Because like the only I have a straight A in every course except for English. Fucking hate English.
Enough because that's the language you speak.
Dude, I only failed English.
Well,
I
dude,
failed
like,
my own language.
To be fair, I also did very poorly in English because I don't give a shit about adverbs and pronouns and like what the fuck the specific terminology of the words in the sentence are. I just know how the words work.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, but like, I think we all feed off each other because we all have a talent. Like, we all have talents. Like, you know, like, other than our ability to kick ass because we're bears, I think that there's two aspects to us. We have the philosophy aspect, and we also have the kick ass warrior aspect of us. Like, we have the discernment. Like, most people, so the thing is, the mass awakening that this claim is going on, I haven't seen it anywhere else except for the bear community. But people claim that they're waking up, but they're still like light years behind us. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, I'm waking up, but I'm still whacking off every day to pornos. But I'm scared. I'm waking up.
We all have Trump stamps on the ass crack. Like it's okay to like Trump and think he's communicable and care, like laugh at him and stuff like that, and like and not disagree with like a lot of the stuff that he says, but you shouldn't worship him. Like, he's not your savior. Like, he's not going to save you. He's doing whatever the growlers tell him to do.
Did I tell you about the political club I accidentally got involved in?
Huh. Oh wait, the no. I was thinking of Ohio Fire Bear with the Proud Boys.
No, dude. So kind of similar to his story. So like, just throw everything on the table. I tried to join the Proud Boys in Arizona, and like their first like little tier or whatever is you've got to say like record yourself saying this very specific thing, and it's very comical. And so I couldn't record myself saying their first thing without laughing, and so they never let me in their club.
That's hilarious. That's so hilarious.
Said, I was at Arizona State University. I was a history major at the time, and I was taking a class called The History of Conservative Thoughts from World War II until present. Right. And the teacher was super, super conservative. It just so happened that a bunch of the students were very liberal. And so because the teacher was consistently late, just because he had to like walk all the way across campus, and he was like 90,000 years old, so he was late on a pretty regular basis, I began to really enjoy this hobby of trolling the fuck out of everybody in my class with facts. And the thing that really got this teacher's attention was there was a discussion about faggots, about gay people. And like my whole position was, if you're gay, I don't fucking hate you. But according to all self-reporting statistics, 25% of you assholes admit to being pedophiles. So according to studies, more than 25% of the LGBTQAIP community, they're all fucking pedophiles.
They're all pedophiles.
Using your numbers, that's where I'm coming from. And ironically, there was a super liberal Marine who was trying to argue against me, but I just fucking
liberal Marine.
Yeah, I know it's a unicorn, but they do exist.
That is a unicorn. That's a rarity. I can't believe there would be a liberal Marine after all of that.
All right, so pause real quick. Welcome, Bajo Bear, Bear Razor Bear. Farewell, good night, and yes. So as you're listening to the Bible, I would suggest that you start at Lamentations. When you first start listening to Lamentations, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, this is fucking intense." But the more you listen to it, Bear Razor, I promise you, you're gonna fucking love Lamentations. It's one of my favorite books in the Bible.
Amen.
But that being said, is like as this like gay ass little liberal Marine tried to make the whole SJW kind of argument, I just presented the facts and completely destroyed him in every way, shape, and form. And after this was just like a normal organic conversation that just happened in class or before class. And so it just so happened that the teacher walked in mid-conversation as I was destroying him. And so it's just like, at the time, I didn't know it. I didn't learn this until months, over a year later, to be quite honest. But turns out that teacher and also one of my other favorite teachers from another class that I literally had no idea he was involved. But these two teachers that I fucking loved, they both were supporters of the Student for Trump Club. And because I was so emphatically conservative and not hateful, and I just was factual, the president of Students for Trump, ASU, he was like, "Hey man, do you want to join my club?" Blah blah blah, etc. etc. And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, sure."
Flock together.
Yeah, and so I literally the first event for Students for Trump, I was just doing my thing, being a fucking me, and because me is so just outrageous, they're like, "Dude, you're fucking awesome. Do you want to be the third most powerful person in our group?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I still don't know what you mean, but yeah, that sounds fun." And that's kind of how I started my whole involvement in the whole political sphere. And now fast forward 2 years, and do you see right here is the air conditioning, and do you see hanging off my doorknob is a bunch of lanyards?
Yeah, I see them.
All those lanyards are from various Trump events where I was a VIP, and that was on accident because I was a ridiculous person and argued with facts against like gay shit.
Right. Like, that's
Like,
hilarious.
it's
You
crazy.
said that.
Like,
Dude, we all
I
just
was
want to be like Big Bear. We always want to just talk shit about gay shit because, like, Big Bear was the original. He did it, dude. And, like,
well,
we're like, fuck the gay people. Like,
I get where you're coming from, but like in my journey, like specifically, is like yes, obviously I respect Big Bear in a variety of ways, but specifically for this, Big Bear had zero influence. It was just like I know
oh, really?
gays are wrong. I know that statistics prove that gays are really bad and most of them are pedophiles. And so I just did the research, and it just so happened that in a college class that talked about conservatism, someone wanted to fucking push my buttons and play games. So I played games and out fucking facted all of them.
Yeah,
And
I totally agree with you. Like, I believe that, like, 50% of them were pedophiles, and I believe the other 50% of them were pedophiles. And so they were all pedophiles because in the end, even though they were pedophile, they still ended up becoming pedophiles.
well, but like what I find interesting is when like over a year ago, like almost 2 years ago now, I had zero interest in being like a political figure or being involved in any sort of politics whatsoever. Like I was so how Big Bear is like, oh, I will never be a political figure. I had that mindset before I even knew about Big Bear. Like because my biological father, like my dad, he was in politics and that
Right.
turned him into like the most worthless piece of shit human being in existence. And so
Right.
like just naturally, I want to avoid politics.
Right.
And so the fact that I was just naturally drawn into the political theater and I'm just naturally really good at it on accident for no reason is really interesting to me.
Right.
Bell
Like-
Reaver, I will not run for office. Actually, I kind of might, maybe. But I will not run for office, Bell Reaver.
Oh, by the way, I was really, really angry today. And when I woke up this morning and I went to tell my dad, I'm like, you know what? Half mast is reserved for military who actually earned it. And he's like, no, but it's for anybody that's in the Congress. I'm like, even though I knew that's true, I was so fucking mad that he said that. Like, I was like, they
Technically,
didn't
yes, but
fucking earn
Sally,
it.
no.
They didn't earn it. That bitch did not earn it.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. If you are a Jewish supporter and have dual nationalship, and your whole goal as a part of Congress is to destroy our country, I will not put my flag at half-mast for your
Damn
bitch ass
right.
when you die.
Fuck
I will
that.
celebrate your fucking death. How dare you?
Exactly. How fucking dare you? I'll take my S-wing upside your face. You don't want to know what that is.
Well, it's funny because like most of my streams, I'm really like all of my streams, I'm very genuine and honest. But like most of my streams,
Absolutely.
I'm very like I see like a lot of people are in pain, and so I relate to them and I encourage them and I try and like through encouragement get the gravy out of them and like kind of like increase their level of morale and like self-confidence. That's just kind of what I do. But that
Right.
being said, is in other cases, if you try and push bullshit, I will be very harsh and embarrass the living shit out of you if you try and lie to me. And
Right.
because I'm a nerd, I know a lot of shit. So, like, cool. If you have a unique concept that like most of the bears haven't heard, great. I would love to hear it. But let you try and redefine a biblical term, and I will put you in check so hard you won't know where the fuck you were born.
You're damn straight, because you do realize that this is the thing that people fuck up with. They think that it's a fucking joke. It's not a joke. It says that anyone adds or takes away from the book of life, so shall their name be taken away from the book of life.
Chapter
Even if
22! Exactly!
If you fuck with the Bible, you can literally be erased from God's memory. That's
Yeah.
dumb.
That's kind of serious, and I take it seriously.
I take
And
it
most
fucking
people
very
don't.
seriously. You know me and my factual jokes.
Dude, fucking exactly. Exactly. Like, I'll make jokes all day long, but the second you start to, like, contradict biblical, like, facts, I'm gonna put you in check before you know what just happened.
Right. like I don't know. I like this. The thing is, like, you know, as me and Warbeard, like, we sat there and listened to you guys for a long time. We didn't stay in the shadows. We didn't come out and talk to you guys. The thing is, like, Warbeard has much spiritual growth, if not more than me, than I do in discernment, stuff like that. So, like,
Your older brother Warbeard is a fucking legend. I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's the one that brought me to Jeff. Like, I didn't think about all this shit. He's the one that brought me into this, like, the bear community and all this, and he explained to me. And, like, the weird thing is, like, when I first, like, just initially just came into the bear community, it completely made sense. It's like, whoa, this is what I've been lacking this whole time. I'm like, dude, like, all my friends, like, on Facebook and the friends I have in other places and stuff like that, real friends, like, out there that are just, like, that I used to hang out with, they're like, why don't you hang out anymore? I'm like, because I found real friends. Yeah. Real friends that don't mock me for having different views on the world. Like
my I say new friends don't mock me for being not retarded.
Exactly.
So I like them more.
Dude, every single friend I've had looked at me and thought I was retarded because I said, look, I base everything that I disagree with on Don Pettit. If Don Pettit said it, it's bullshit. Don Pettit is the ultimate mockery of humankind, like mankind. How could the fucking
anyone who ever believes in NASA, just show them Don Pettit. And if they don't repent of their previous NASA beliefs, they're a confirmed retard.
Don Pettit is Asperger's. You cannot put retards up in outer space.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if you see Don Pettit and you still believe in NASA, then you're a retard. If you haven't seen Don Pettit and you believe in NASA, you're just ignorant. But once you see him, then you're a retard.
Exactly. Listen to this. Think about this for a second. He says, I invented zero G cup. Like, so you invented a cup that floats in outer space. So if there's zero gravity, you have a cup in outer space, it won't float. If it's not zero G cup.
Well, what about the liquid in your cup? Did you solve that problem, Don Pettit? What the fuck?
Oh, I made it so you can still smell the aromas of the roast beef.
Wait. But the cup that I specially invented has its own internal gravity, so you can still drink out of it, even though it doesn't make any sense according to all the laws of gravity that we've been brainwashing you with. Even though gravity doesn't exist, because it's all polarity and magnetism.
Apparently they only eat roast beef in outer space.
Dude, NASA astronauts are fucking retarded.
They ain't never in outer space. They're like, yo, they sit there like I guarantee. Think about it. What did they say on or what was it, the space landing? No. The moon travel, whatever, was made in a Hollywood basement. Even freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers said it. Like, they tell you the truth. Like, they say it on plain sight, and people don't even realize it. Like, that was called complete bullshit. Like, why does everything say? They say that the firmament is like this thin blue line, right? Don Pettit says the thin blue line between us and outer space. But why is all their shit equipped for, like, water?
Well, oh, dude, thin blue line is the thing that NASA is fighting against. So naturally, in the Zeitgeist Wars, the thin blue line, because NASA is a cultural, like a cultural pillar, the thin blue line in cultural terms of NASA will obviously, in cultural Marxism terms, bleed over and then have negative aspects of the cops.
Exactly.
What we see with BLM. Surprise! Dude, that's the first time I've ever been exposed to that line of thought, but look how quickly I was like, oh, that's obvious.
Exactly, because you have a high level of discernment. This is the thing. The Lord's waking people up, but he's not waking up everybody because he knows everybody's hearts. If your hearts and your minds can conceive of what he's speaking, he's gonna wake you up, obviously, and make sure that you are sure that you are not deceived by people because he wants you. Or maybe that he just doesn't want.
God will give you the opportunity for more discernment, and whether or not you take that opportunity is up to you. But continue.
Right. Yeah. So like, I don't believe that. Obviously, that there's higher level spiritual people than us. Like spiritual, their job is literally just to fight Satan. Like they meet up with God in the clouds and they fight Satan in the Battle of Armageddon.
I've
Like,
literally met those kinds of people. Like,
yeah, like
those kinds of people that you speak of right now,
yeah,
they're like literally in the process of recruiting me for greater spiritual things. And like I understand where they're coming from, and the vast majority of this group of people, they're way smarter than I am spiritually speaking, but the here's where it becomes ironic and hilarious is even though the vast majority of this community has way more spiritual knowledge and experience than I do, the vast majority of this like spiritually enhanced community, the majority of them believe in globe Earth. And that's what I find crazy because like about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started really involved in this higher spiritual community that literally like some of these people like they engage Satan in engage demons in spiritual conflict on a regular basis, and they have tangible effects of the spiritual warfare in which they engage. And I'm trying to discredit all of the wonderful spiritual things they do. But that being said, is from my experience, the vast majority of people who have this crazy level of spiritual experience also happen to be boomers and also happen to be deceived in a variety of ways. And so on one hand, it's very humbling because they know way more than I do on all these various other spiritual things. But on the other hand, it's also very humbling because these people that are way smarter than me are also listening to cultural lies, which then weakens their own ability to be like, people.
Right.
And so it's a very interesting perspective like for me to be in.
We should just sit back sometime and just engage in conversation without like triggering their what do you call that? Their boomerism. We should just let them. I'm not even trying to engage them in that conversation. I'm saying just listen to them, like just for the name of whatever, just documenting it. Just listen to how they talk.
Dude, before I began, so like when I first was exposed to this like community of very high level spiritual belief people, I like when I was first exposed, I wasn't trying to tell them anything. I was just trying to learn everything I could. And so in that first stage of just learning everything I could, I was just humble and listening and learning. But it wasn't very long until I was like, wait, some of the things you're saying are not logical. Some of the things you're saying are not truthful. And like a lot of that has to do with the whole NASA lie and blah, blah, blah. And the more I educated myself and began to learn about various lies that like the boomer generation has just been exposed to and believed and ate up wholeheartedly, like that doesn't like just because the boomer generation bought all these lies concerning globe Earth does not take away from the spiritual knowledge that God has blessed them with. However, that being said, is just because someone has spiritual like knowledge that God has blessed them with doesn't mean that they know anything. Like for argument's sake,
it's so crazy to say. My dad,
retard, like mentally handicapped. What's up?
Oh, my dad can quote the Bible to you, like the whole Bible to you. But he's in the dark about a lot of things, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like your dad. Let's use your dad as an example. Your dad is this wonderful, like because like how you just said he knows a bunch about the Bible. I'm going to assume that your dad is a wonderful and godly man. That being said, just because your dad believes in like the moon landing, that doesn't take away from his holiness. That doesn't take away from his knowledge base. It's just like, all right, I have a ton to learn from you, Dad, but here's a couple of your weak points, and if you're unable to address those, then that's another learning opportunity for me. You know?
Right. Yeah. like yeah, like it's the boomers are tough. That's like whoever said it was yesterday. Someone said that the boomers are a tough generation to save. Like they're they were there with the box, you know what I'm saying? With the theater, the stage theater. They came up with the stage theater, you know, like
Nope.
we were lucky that we like grew up with like we had a single cord or a corded phone between the whole family. We didn't have internet and Facebook and social media and all that stuff like that. So like we had to like literally go to our neighbor's house and hang out and like and talk to each other
Yeah.
and go meet
And
up
so,
with
in a very
girls.
similar manner to what you speak of, most people don't know shit about the medical system. Turns out, this asshole named Rockefeller, through this biography, explains exactly what he did to the medical system.
You're
It
kidding
just so
me.
happens this book.
I need that
And so
book. I need that book.
did. And so because I know what the fuck people did, I know the way to combat their theological beliefs.
Dude,
That's
I
it.
love it. Dude, I love it. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I'm worried about anything that's going on in the world. All I'm saying is, know your motherfucking enemy.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know your enemy, you can't begin to combat your enemy. And that's the
Exactly.
weakness of the majority of American Christians, is they're so obsessed, like specifically obsessed with being nice and accepting and loving. They don't understand the true meaning of the gospel, so they're willing to be nice and loving to people who are willing to rape their children. But because of the love of Jesus Christ, we need to love and accept them. And just because they're
Yeah.
fucking your kid and you don't know about it, like, that makes like Christians fucking special people? No. That means you're just an ignorant retard and you don't know that this fucking satanic piece of shit is
Thank
fucking
you.
your kid. Don't be
Thank you.
loving, be accepting, draw a line in the goddamn sand, and fucking honor Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Honor Jesus Christ and everything. But let me explain something right now. There's a biblical verse that says, the Lord's children will be destroyed because of ignorance.
Yes! Dude, I quote that Bible verse all the fucking time. And no one ever gets it. They're like, oh,
because they're too caught
like,
up in
they just
stuff.
make excuses for their own ignorance. Every time.
They say that they call themselves sojourners, and then they're not of this world. They're in this world, but not of this world. But yet they're still caught up in the political system.
Well, it's like,
It's okay.
so I guess like, a good analogy for what like most American Christians claim to be, it's like,
Right.
I just played Call of Duty for 6 hours, so now I'm a soldier.
Right.
Oh, really now? What does that really mean to you? What are the sacrifices you have made? What are the moral agreements that you, like, moral lines in the sand? Because being a soldier is really morally, like, questionable in a variety of ways. Like, what are the moral lines in the sand you have made? Like, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like most Christians just are so fucking stupid and arrogant that they don't even understand how fucking stupid they are. And then when you point out how stupid they are, they judge you. It's like,
Yeah. You're the bad
fuck
guy.
you. I never want to be a part of the church again because you're so fucking stupid and all your friends are equally stupid and judgmental and hypocritical. Like, fuck
This
all
is
of
why
you.
I've fallen off with a lot of my friends and family, because even though they're my friends and family, they all believe in this bullshit. And they looked at me at Warbeer like we were retards. Like we were fucking out of our minds.
Same here, bro. Same fucking here.
And I'm like, you know what? If you guys want to be destroyed because of ignorance, that's cool. I'm preparing to get ready for the fight.
Like, bro, I shit you not. The last church I got kicked out of, so what happened was I was in charge of setting up for the young adults group. And every single Sunday morning, I would text the like head leader of the young adults, like, hey man, I'm here, I'm setting up, blah blah blah.
Right.
And whenever I was unable to make it, I would text him like several hours, if not like multiple days in advance, just so he could find someone else to set shit up.
Yeah.
And God led me on this crazy journey where I was just gone from that church for like 2 or 3 months. And then when I came back, I started doing my thing, started setting up, And this leader, this dude named Kyle, was like, "Hey man, could you stop setting things up? Like just go take a knee kind of thing. Like just go to the other room and just kind of hang out. Like we want to have like community and we want everybody to work together for the setup. Like it can't all be about you." I was like, "All right, yeah, I get that. Like I'm the main setup guy and like I get you want to do community. So like I understand where you're coming from." But then so like what I did was it just so happened that day I came literally with a backpack, I shit you not, a backpack filled with different versions of the Bible and like biblical, like right here. Oh shit, hold on. Pull it out. It's right here, like literally right here. It's a very big book and a very small shelf. Oh no! Be patient! Be patient! Like I said,
man down.
It's a very small shelf and a very big book that was literally sitting. Like every single stream I've had, this book has been sitting right next to the stream. It's an NIV concordance, so it's basically like a biblical dictionary. So any biblical term that you don't know the meaning of, the NIV version, NIV, like this concordance is like a biblical dictionary. And I have multiple resources like this, right, in addition to my dozens of Bibles that I own. So like I've studied this shit, get it back into the shelf, for a while. And so when like this dude Kyle, whatever, I'll do it later. When this dude Kyle was like, "Oh, you can't volunteer, you can't help, wait for other people," I just went and I pulled all these Bibles and shit out of my backpack. I just started studying the Word of God. And after about 15, 20 minutes, someone else came up and just started doing what I was about to do. And so I asked Kyle, I was like, "Hey man, so this person can just come and start like volunteering, but when I do the same thing they're doing right now, you're chastising me? What the fuck, bro?" And I questioned him about it in a very tactful way. And because
a lair bear.
Yeah, a lair bear. "Screw you, Kyle. I'm going home." Yeah, basically. But like after I was chastised for attempting to volunteer, I was humble. I just went to a different room and I was like, "All right, I can't volunteer right now, so I'm just gonna use this literal backpack full of biblical texts that I brought with me just to study the word of the Lord." And so like 15, 20 minutes later, after like other people were setting shit up, like I was just in the other room. I literally had 4 or 5 books open and I was studying the Gospels and like double checking like references from different like biblical texts with like in accordance to their original like languages. Right. I was going full Bible nerd. And I had all the books to fucking do it, like in front of me on the table. And
I'm surprised you didn't study theology.
I had all these books on the table, this dude, fucking Kyle, he walks up to me and he's like, he tries to make peace. I'm like, and I just pointed out the logical inconsistency of his actions. And by me pointing out the logical inconsistencies of his actions, and we had a conversation, eventually he ended it by saying, "I don't know how to love you anymore." And I was like, "Wait, so does that mean I shouldn't come here?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, you should find somewhere else to worship." Roger that. And I fucking left the church. Or that church.
You got to remember that the letters written to the 7 churches, like, this is what I was talking to Warbeard about. Like, every church has something wrong with them, right? Because the 7 churches, there was something written to all of them talking about how, like, they all lacked in certain areas. And,
well, except one church. What was that one church?
Let me know what you're talking about.
So I'm not wrong, because like 6 of the 7 churches.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was one church that God just like.
Because they had love.
Yeah. All right, fuck it. You know what I'm talking about. One of the 7 churches was blessed by Saint John in the book of Revelation, but the other 6 of the 7 churches were reprimanded. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, we can. I'll have to dive into that again later, and we can both talk. Like, because I'm like you. I'm a big Bible guy. Like me and Warbeard, we'll notice that we'll always like quote like Bible scriptures. It's not that we're being churching, because we're not churchians. We're not like religious. We don't.
Like, there's a difference between being churchian and just like recreationally, like quoting the Bible. There's a big difference.
Yeah, like I look at the things we're talking about, like I the analogies and things that we're discussing, and I can, because you remember I was saying that, like I said, Psalms can literally answer anything that you've pondered.
Yeah,
It's in Psalms. Psalms can answer all your questions. Like, you don't have to look any further than Psalms. Like, so, like I'm saying, like the Bible has the answers to everything that you seek. That like your questioning and stuff like that. So like when I speak a verse, it is absolutely it's on subject to what people are talking about. The thing that sucks is because of delay in time, people are like, wait, what? Like the response time when people are looking at their screens.
So to answer your question specifically, so as I was saying, yeah, I totally get you. Like, fuck the Bible. Like the Bible nerd in me, I had to know which of the 7 churches was not fucked up. Turns out I had that church highlighted in the book of Revelation. And it's the Church of Laodicea.
Dude.
And I won't read the whole passage, but you saw it was highlighted.
Mm-hmm. It's so crazy. But this is the thing for a lot of people that don't know this, though, that we are the church. Like, it doesn't matter which coming up in Christ you came up in. If you love the Lord, you are the church, because
the church
people need to read Hebrews again, because we are river crossers. We are the actual Hebrews. We are the actual Jews. So when the fake Jews will tell you, well, no, we're the chosen ones. They're the fake Jews.
Well, that's what I found really funny for like my journey specifically is my dad's uncle, so like my great uncle, in his later years in life, his ambition has been to write a genealogical history of the family.
Yeah.
And in his pursuits, I've gone, like, so he lives like 2 hours away from me. And like, there's been a couple of times where I've drove to his place just to look at his research and see what he's learning.
Yeah.
Turns out my bloodline literally goes back not only to King David, but also encompasses the majority of all the royal families in Europe. No big deal. Yeah. It's significantly surprising.
That's crazy.
Like, dude, like, I'm royalty out the fucking wazoo according to mankind's, like, stats.
That's crazy.
That being said, like, what I find funny is because of my Marine Corps uprising, I'm a very, according to most people, I'm a very vulgar individual that is very offensive to the majority of the population.
Let me tell you this right now, brother. I'm a little bit older than you, so I'm going to give you a little bit of wisdom right here.
Yeah,
the Lord only gives us as much as He allows us to handle. Like, we can only handle so much, right? The Lord knew how much He could handle. He knew how much He could handle.
That being said, the Lord should have told you to take a smaller dip.
Yeah. I've been drinking, so I too. I'm like Jesse Ventura and Predator.
Well, all I'm saying is, had you taken a smaller dip, I would have been able to understand you better, and you still would have gotten the same like nicotine buzz.
Oh, you can understand me?
Yeah, like, I can understand you. It's just like, now that you've put a dip in, like, not only is it very physically obvious from the video, but like audibly, I can hear a specific difference in your speech.
Oh, I apologize.
No need to apologize. I'm just saying, take a smaller dip, and I won't notice what the fuck you're doing.
I love it. I love you noticed that. Anyways, I had to push it down. Anyways.
Yeah, no worries at all.
That's so funny you mentioned that. Like, you're like, hey, that's a big dip you have in your mouth.
Dude, it's like, I can't even bulge my tongue out. It's like, you have so much dip, dude.
You're definitely not a conservative.
Well, it's
Oh,
funny because like most like legalese Christians would be like, "How dare you take nicotine?" And I'm
oh
like,
man.
"No, dude, just take less nicotine, and I won't notice what the fuck you're doing."
Henry.
I'm not condemning your use of
Right.
nicotine. I literally just smoked a cigarette 20 minutes ago. Like I'm not
Yeah.
condemning it. It's just like if you're gonna do it, just be able to speak better and like
Right.
don't
Yeah.
consummation of nicotine hinder your ability to speak. So take a
Right.
smaller dip. That's
Right.
it.
In my mind, I was like, man, that wasn't enough. Anything in moderation is for cowards. Well, except for Brad Pitt. He takes everything in more than moderations.
Well, Brad Pitt is just a fucking butt boy, so he
Oh,
doesn't
dude.
apply.
He's a diaper boy. Him and Chris Pratt. What's
Exactly.
about Chris Pratt? Chris Pratt is the worst out of all of them because he was
Yeah,
kind of
but like I completely agree. And the reason why I completely agree is because Chris Pratt pretends to be a Christian. And like I cannot say whether or not he's going to get into heaven or not,
right.
but the reason why I say he pretends to be a Christian is because I've seen multiple reports of how in depth he is involved with the general Hollywood scene with like pedophile parties and all that bullshit. Like just because of his involvement in that bullshit, because he pretends to be a Christian, he's that much more fucked up. Like
Yeah.
whether or not he's an actual Christian, I don't know. But because he pretends to be a Christian and still advocates, or not necessarily advocates, but is willing to accept all these other satanic things in his
Right.
own household, at the very least, that raises questions for me. Significant questions.
Right. Like this is the thing too. Like I used to follow like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I used to think he was the most badass like actor. I thought he was so cool. Like, oh, like no, Dwayne Johnson. He couldn't be grappled because he's such a badass. So, like, and then I realized that after when he came out in that episode of what was it Saturday Night Live, and he said "Hail Satan." That's when I realized he got rammed in his ass.
Damn, that's crazy. I've literally almost never watched Saturday Night Live, just because I
Yeah.
found it as a very low form
Oh,
of
I stopped
comedy.
watching it after Dwayne. I saw the Johnson skit because he said "Hail Satan" in one skit, and then the other one he had the sex robot, the child molesting robot.
Damn,
It was in the same episode. Yeah, like he came out with the child molesting robot joke, and I'm like, that's not even funny, dude.
dude, that's fucking intense.
Yeah, like that was disgusting. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be like the people's champ. You're supposed to be like someone like everyone's like cool, badass, you know. Now I realize he gets
So
plowed more than
Blair
Pitt.
Bear brings up a good point. If you watch back on most celebrities, you can see the change. That's a very good observation. Where it's like
Yeah,
most of these celebrities, they initially start as like good role models, but the
yeah,
more they get celebrity, the more influence they get, the more
yeah,
corrupted and satanic they become. Alaire
yeah.
Bear, good fucking call. That's very
Well, because
accurate.
if you remember back to the what was it back to the, even to what was his name that was that the comedian, what was his name he did that movie with the guy that played in Willy Wonka, the black dude that played with Willy Wonka. They did a movie together where they're both like one's blind, one's deaf.
Asking me about actors is like the worst idea ever because I don't
No,
give a shit about them.
Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor on a roasting. No, but listen to how crazy is this. He said it out in the open. Richard Pryor during one of the roastings, like because they've had roastings for years. But
So
Richard Pryor,
will other people that are not retarded as me know who Richard Pryor is? As
okay,
you know,
Richard Pryor was an old 1970s, 1980s, maybe early 90s actor. He's a black actor, but he did a roasting back in the late 80s. And he was talking about how, like, because of how gravel they are and stuff like that, like, they would, like, force people to have sex with him and stuff like that. And he did it in his roast. He was talking about how he made people suck his dick and, like, raped people and had sex with them during the roast. And he was speaking this. And people are laughing and cracking up. And he was telling the truth.
So basically, like a satanic version of what Ricky Gervais just did recently.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's insane. But yeah,
It's
like
saying that Richard Pryor was a filthy comic, he free-based and burnt his face. Does that have meaning to you? I feel like that has meaning, but I don't know what that means. Like, free-based obviously has to do with drugs and shit, but, like, beyond that, like, enlighten me. I'm a retard with, like, famous people.
What's his name? You remember the white guy, that older guy that died, and he was talking about so much true shit that everybody keeps going back to. He was in the Jane Silent Bob movies. What was his name? Not Collins, but was it Collins? Old guy with the white beard.
Dude, I'm a retard when it comes to celebrities. I don't know.
But anyways, I was just going back to Richard Pryor, and the reason why I wanted to bring Richard Pryor is he exposed us back in the late 70s and early 80s. He exposed how all the Hollywood is getting plowed. Like everyone is just getting turned out. Like, you cannot go up a single level in Hollywood without getting turned out. Like, that's why I was saying the diver community was totally true when Big Bear was talking about it. Like, he knows because he was in Hollywood. Like, he may have been low level, but he still saw some shit. Like, he probably doesn't even want to talk about. George Carlin, yes, thank you, Warbeard. George Carlin was pretty damn based. Like, if you're going to talk about Hollywood, George Carlin was like the most based there was. The only problem is he denied the existence of God. He was basically Hawkins.
All right, brother, man. So Instagram's about to kick me off.
Oh,
and I've already been going for 3 hours tonight, and I like
that's true.
Like, my goal is to keep JapJap there, late nights of JapJap to 2 hours, because
I apologize, brother.
It'll be like a 6-hour stream.
Okay.
So I don't want to cut it off at 3 hours. I've already got an hour over.
Get some sleep, brother.
Definitely, man. I'll be back tomorrow. And, dude, I absolutely loved our conversation. I did too. Glad to talk today.
Dude, you've done a lot for me too, man. You don't even know. Like, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. This has come from
here to serve, brother, man.
This has come from my superior Marine Corps man.
All right, dude. Have a great night and God bless, brother.
Hey, God bless, brother.
Farewell, friends.